Welcome back to the podcast. We have made it. We are starting season 2 today. And today's topic is about resistance. Resistance is real, and so are our goals.
Ooh, welcome to the Shift Happens podcast about managing the lighter side of life's challenges.
I'm Robin McIntire, certified life and transitions coach.
And I'm Monique Eckes, question asker, sitting in as the audience.
So fun.
Yay. All right, resistance is real, and
Yes.
so are our goals. Can you put those two things kind of more together in my brain for me, please?
Okay, so sometimes we don't call it resistance. What I hear a lot is, Robin, I know what to do and I just don't do it. Okay, or we set the goal, and then we avoid the actions that we've set out for ourselves to go after it.
Yeah,
so we find ourselves in resistance,
right,
to what we said we wanted.
Yeah, that seems like why would we even do that? You know what I mean? But I totally get it.
Yeah, it's so common, and we are here to normalize this again.
True.
Right. It's not like let's get off the hook or let's just stay in resistance. It's just about the more we understand we have it as humans, and the more we can accept it and move through it and not let it win.
Yeah.
Not let it keep us from what we want.
Right? And so we're going to talk about a couple of things with resistance, but I think we had bullet pointed just a few ways it kind of shows up, because you might be like, I'm not in resistance, but it could look different ways.
Well, I'll give an example first.
Oh, okay.
An example is, and this comes up with clients, that's why it's been so fresh on my mind too, is it goes back to that, hey, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it. How about this one? When it's time to start your vision board. People get excited to make a vision board, put all their dreams and their goals on the vision board.
Yeah.
But several clients in the past, this not just this year, but it's happened in the past too, have gotten really honest, and it's in the moment, like as it's coming out of their mouth, they are saying, oh my gosh, I've had this same goal for, sometimes 15 years.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anybody raise their hand for that one?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So big ones could be, it could be smoking, drinking, vaping, but weight loss comes up a lot. And it's just one of those things that after a while, it's just so easy to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
You beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Or really what's happened too is you put it on the vision board, but do you really believe you can do it?
Oh my gosh, right? I have been there. I'm going to write it on the goal list again, even though I'm not going to do it probably. And this is January, or whenever.
Yes.
And so then if it's not then, it's not ever.
Yeah.
In a way, sometimes. Resistance is one thing. I can tell if I'm like, oh, I want to do this, but I think I'm resisting. That specifically I get.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I'm in coaching with Robin is to put more words to some of these feelings. And you had a really great list of other words that we can think of, like confusion.
Yeah, confusion. This one was one that was presented to me several years ago, and it just was like a 2x4.
Oh my.
Because I found myself saying a lot, I don't know how to do this, or I'm not sure about this. And that at the same time, even though I won't jump into this a lot because it's a rabbit hole, but it comes down to making decisions. So as long as we're confused, we don't have to move forward.
Right.
And that's when it really got to, for me personally, I was like, oh, no. I'm not going to be that person that's indecisive. And it's still a goal for me to just be better and better at making decisions, not carelessly, but not let it be an excuse anymore. And confusion is right there.
Oh, I can totally see that, especially when you put a bigger thing on there that might take a good portion of the year, like weight loss.
Yes.
For me, I have this goal that I, kind of making it happen over the year. And if I didn't know how to do it, I'd be confused about it. But I think it also goes right into the overthinking.
Oh.
Because we have that up there too.
Yes.
I'm kind of confused, so let me ask everybody I know.
Yes.
Do all the research.
Looking for strategies.
And the easy button.
Yes, the easy.
For me.
Oh, the easy. I wish I had the easy button.
Ding.
Yes.
Okay.
The easy button.
Yeah.
That is human nature again. We want the easy way, and our body wants the easy way. Our mind wants the easy way.
Yeah.
That's why resistance is here, anyways, because of what our brain does.
That's okay. Good point.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So we want it to be easy, but it's easy to look. We just keep looking for new ideas or the magic bullet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we're never ready.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's how the resistance shows up.
Yeah.
Another example we had up there, distractions. So I never thought about resistance being distraction, really.
About the time you're supposed to go for the run, if vacuuming sounds fun, you know that you're in resistance, right?
Gardening for me, if I'm out weeding, it's either like, okay, I'm taking a break from something, or, oh, hey, I got to do that one thing before I go to...
It's so true. We all have them. It can be a snack. Oh, it's time to eat.
Oh my gosh,
For me, if I'm overstressed and trying to make a decision and I feel confused and I'm not ready, I'm just in resistance to something, power nap sounds really great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Distracting yourself.
Distracting.
Now that I think about it, there's a ton of ways.
Yeah, no, it comes up in so many ways.
And that is such a, that could be, if we're not noticing it.
Yeah.
We talk about noticing what you notice a lot. I would never put distraction with resistance.
Yeah. Perfection is another one.
Perfection.
Which we will talk a lot about that over time.
Yeah.
Perfection is, I'm not ready, it's not good enough yet, I don't know enough yet. There's so much resistance. In fact, we perfectionists probably are the last to launch things because they just aren't quite ready yet.
Yeah.
And we're in resistance to really letting it go the way it is now. We want it to be better first.
Well, and one of the other episodes we talked about FOPO too, the fear of other people's opinions.
Yes.
So that could probably lead into some of this too, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
all the
boy.
reasons we resist.
Wow. Even though we just talked about we want to make everything easier.
Yes.
So we do want to make this easier, but we don't, it's not exactly an easy button.
Right.
Okay? But we want you to have ease, feel ease in it. Is that more like what you're thinking?
I love the word ease, and I wasn't familiar with it before I had my first coach because I just didn't use it. I didn't think about it. We heard easy, but just the way of thinking and the way of being, we can do everything with more ease.
Okay.
So in this case, with resistance, instead of saying, why don't I do it? Or why am I resisting this? Or whatever you might feel, we're looking for acceptance.
Okay.
So we can accept that resistance is part of our game. It just is. Part of our thing is resistance. So what can we do about it?
So when you're looking at that vision board, right, and you've put that thing on there that you're like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this, just in that moment, accept. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
There's going to be resistance.
Yes.
I'm going to put it on here even though there's resistance.
Yes, and the resistance also feels like when we're honest with ourselves. So let's say the vision board. This has happened with a couple of my clients. They're like, I can't believe I just told you that, but literally it has been like 15 years. So there's this like whoosh that comes over where it's, I guess you could say guilt or shame, depending on the person and how bad it feels. But in the moment that it comes out of their mouth, the other thing that's fun about coaching, right? You have space to say things, and then that's when you hear it for the first time because you're telling me.
Right.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. So it's coming out of your mouth, and you're saying, oh my gosh. So in that moment, you can do two things. You can either shame spiral, or you can say, whoa, wait. You know what? I have been that person that keeps repeating this goal and maybe hasn't been realistic about it or hasn't, I've just stayed in resistance so long it never happened. But in that moment, if you can say, okay, that's how it's been.
Accept
it.
Gotcha.
Accept. You are human. We resist.
That feels lighter.
Right? It just does.
It
So
really does.
acceptance is the way to get past. There's no good thing about holding on and finding all the reasons why you should have done it differently.
True.
It's like, okay, I didn't. So now what?
Okay. Right? Just like, done, move forward.
Move forward. That's what we're about. Move forward.
Okay.
Right?
So accepting is one step.
Yes.
I guess? Step.
It really is. It's kind of like that's the first thing. Okay, yes, I accept that. This is still a goal, and then we got to decide. Do we still want it to be on there again?
Oh, get off the fence.
Get off the fence.
Okay. So say we keep it on there.
Okay.
Then what?
Okay. So the other thing is just to understand in general. So anybody that knows me knows that too many details, too much science, numbers, all that stuff I feel like takes up too much space in my brain. I have made many changes in my life from one-liners.
Yeah.
That I hear, I appreciate, my body says, oh my gosh, I love that. And I say, what if I were to be that person that takes on that mantra or that, and become more of that. Take on those ways of being. So with the brain, there's different, Monique and I were talking about the different parts of the brain that are responsible for the trying to keep us comfortable, right? That part that tries to keep us in fear. And I do say that resistance comes from fear, but like we talk about fear a lot, it might not be run for your life fear.
Yes, there's not like a tiger right there.
Yeah, and that's where the brain part worked, right?
Right.
That part of our brain
does that to
Yes,
us. Yeah.
It's still in that old mode of saber-toothed tiger.
Yep.
Got to save you from that. But we have to remember, it's just used to doing that. So it's going to try to throw that out at everything we do that's going to make us change or challenge our comfort.
Yeah, your brain doesn't know the different, there's no levels of fear, right?
It's just either fear and freak out.
It's just fear.
Yeah, so it's always trying to tell us, don't do that, don't go there. That's new, we don't know that, that's uncertain.
Which is definite resistance when we're trying to change our brain.
Yeah, and when we're trying to grow.
And our thoughts. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So the understanding the brain and the fear.
Yeah. So just to literally, if you can accept that this is where you are, and then you can accept that you might not know all the details of how the brain works, but maybe just believe us that the brain is doing it. So yes, it's our responsibility to make changes if we want it, but it's not our fault.
Right, so
that
taking
these
out
things
the shame,
come up. Yes.
right, and normalizing it,
Yes.
like you always say, okay,
Yeah.
that feels lighter to me too.
Yeah.
All right, I love this so far.
Yeah, so it kind of keeps you open. So here's what happens when you are frustrated with having it on your vision board, and this is what happened with some clients, or separate clients, but it's kind of like, oh, what if I do leave this on there again? How am I going to feel? And you start playing that through. That's when you can really kind of get a little, I'm going to call it level 2 energy. We haven't talked a lot about the different levels of energy, but it has to do with a little bit of conflict. And when we're in resistance, we feel conflict anyway.
Okay.
Right? We've got that split energy.
Yeah,
I
okay.
want this goal, but I'm not doing it. On the fence again, right?
Okay.
From that episode, On the Fence, where the conflict can be a good thing, and in a lot of level 2 energy, it doesn't serve us to be in that lower level of energy. But where this can work for you is if you can say, all right, Robin, Monique, have you had enough of that? And you can start going, well, I'm gonna swear. Here's a little trigger. It's more like, hell no, I'm not okay with that anymore. Or it can be that feeling in your body of, I'm settling. I am tolerating this from myself.
Yes, time for a change.
So a little tough love, lighting a fire under your butt to get you to move.
Yeah. As for the ones that you want to keep on the list, like just be real with yourself, right? So you've gone through, okay, now I've identified it.
Yes.
Okay, I put this on here for the 15th year.
Yeah.
And actually, I really do want to do this.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be on there if not, right?
Well,
if it's something that keeps following you, it's like the tap.
It's the tap, right?
It's the tap on your shoulder that, it's not going to go away. Even if you take it off your list, you're probably going to feel it in your body. Something. Disappointment, something.
And I know a lot of people make vision boards in January, but you can do this stuff anytime.
Oh, yeah.
So you've said, okay, this is on the thing, I'm going to do it this year. I'm looking at our notes. You're accepting it, that you're going to have resistance, you know that, right? And you start to understand your brain's going to try to work against you a little bit, right? And then you're like, I'm not settling. Tough love. Excuse me, brain.
I'm in charge here.
Move aside for a second. I'm going to do this and light a fire. Right?
Yep.
And kind of use some of that lower energy, like,
Yeah, a little bit of, it's like being frustrated with yourself. It's not the bad. We don't go into inner critic. You're this, you're that. Shame on you. But it's like, wait a minute.
Right?
I'm better than this.
Yeah, use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. Ooh, okay, I want to get into more on this, but we need to do our sponsor bit. And so Robin's a sponsor. Hey,
Surprise!
Robin, thank you so much. What do you have for us for our audience of lovely people out here?
I want to today offer up 20% off my Spark Plus session. Ooh. Okay, so this is a way for you to, it might be about resistance for you. If this if this episode really resonates with you, you might be going, oh, this would be perfect reason to come chat it out with me. So what it is a 90-minute session. We come together and I hear what it is that you're trying to change. It might be something you're trying to create for yourself. But the 90 minutes, in that time, I hear your story. We can go back and forth and figure out some things that you want to commit to that can help you. What action do you want to take moving forward? And then there's a 30 to 45 minute follow-up session 2 weeks later so that you can report in. We can find out what's working. We can find out what you discovered about yourself. And then if there's something else you need to tweak, that's when we'll know, and that's when we can set you on a new path. And then at that time as well, if this is something that you like and you like the experience of having the support, at that time you can let me know and we could talk about other programs that are possible.
I love it so much. Yeah. I can't believe how generous this is. I'm not exaggerating here either. I think like this Spark session is just so perfect to get to know Robin and her process. Yeah. I am in the longer, type of coaching with Robin. But I've definitely had times where I'm like, okay, we got to talk about this one thing. Yeah. And that would be so perfect for these Spark sessions. Can you imagine 90 minutes with Robin and you're doing something that's been on your list for 15 years?
With no guilt?
With no guilt, and normalizing it almost like you want to cry. Okay, so moving on from that, my love fest for Robin. Thank you, sponsor. Thank you so much, Monique, for that.
Thank you.
So when we come back into talking about resistance is real and so are your goals, I love your one-liners. Can we start with your one-liner as the next segment?
Yeah.
Okay. This is one of Robin's favorite one-liners.
And this can be a mantra for you.
That's true.
Yeah, a mantra, one-liner. So we mix them up all the time. Sure. But really, it's got the power of the and in there. So even though I don't know if I've used that with you yet so far in these episodes, but you'll be learning a lot more about the power of the and. And this mantra, here we go. I'll just say it, okay? I feel the resistance and I'm taking action. Mm-hmm. It's okay to feel it's kind of like feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes, okay.
And it's a way for you to prove to yourself, it's giving you more evidence every time you do it that you can handle resistance, and that you're not wrong for it, and that you recognize it. It's just all bundled up in the self-awareness piece, and then you get to choose. So the more aware you are, the easier it is to choose.
Okay, I feel the resistance and I'm taking action.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think that really shift happens, right? It shifts you into just doing that.
Yeah.
And then there's another part of your brain I think that'll activate and go, okay, let's figure it out. I think
once you make that's a whole other thing. Once you declare this is what I'm doing, so I am not going to be this person anymore that is going to bring this back to my vision board next year. Yeah. I'm not being her anymore. You're declaring that. Yeah. So it's powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
then things just start showing up when you mean it.
Oh my gosh.
Stuff starts showing up.
Oh, I have a lot of stories for that. But just you probably do too. As you start and think about this, you could probably feel that in yourself. And I know as you're listening to this podcast, you know exactly the thing on your list.
Yes. Yes, you do.
And it doesn't have to, a lot of this is health related. Mm-hmm. A lot of things we put on our list that we just kind of keep not doing is health related. Yeah. There's all kinds of other things that I think maybe align with your values. If you're like, one of my top values is travel, and you never travel. Yeah, that's big.
It's
right?
true. You'll start feeling. You start feeling it. It's going to be a continuous tap. Mm-hmm. When are you going to book the vacation? When are you going to book the Right. So it doesn't have to be heavy.
Yeah.
It's just.
But I mean, for me, one of them is drink more water.
Right. And
drink more water and move more.
Yes.
Which I feel like hike more, and I haven't been doing as much of that. Yeah. But I want to go through this whole list myself too, and go, okay, where can I implement this more on specific goals? Mm-hmm. Especially health is so important. Yeah. Yeah.
You know not to get me started at the end of a podcast about health.
I'm sorry. Okay. But I just want to reiterate all the importance of this whole thing, whether it's at the beginning of the year when you're doing a vision board or just any time. Right. This is a great time of year.
I was going to say,
it's halfway.
Yes, we're the halfway mark.
Yes.
And do not ever think that if you aren't where you want to be, never ever too late.
I love looking at my goals throughout the year, or your vision board, wherever it is. A lot of people put in their closet, whatever. Just review it anytime.
Yeah.
And if there's something on there, you're like, oh, that's I'm not going to be resisting anymore.
Yeah, I don't want that on there next year. I've got to knock that out.
So when we're talking about an action step, when we're looking at that vision board right now, today, give us a couple of things we can do.
Are you ready?
Okay.
You got to declare it.
Okay.
Hell no.
Hell
no. Like, it's not okay anymore.
Yeah.
Again, we're not name calling. It's just like, that is not okay. And I have an example for that.
Okay.
For I was in my coaching with my iPet coaching. I was on a Zoom call in one of the Zoom rooms with 30 other students and one of the head trainers, and I was the client.
Oh.
Okay, and it was me going, blah, 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 my life is really good. So here's another thing to watch out for. But really, things are pretty good. And I was talking about not being organized enough in my business and not using my time the way I say I want to use my time. And I'm just justifying and validating, but when my kids stop by, it feels so good. And I mean, I have it all, right? And she just nailed me. And she said, oh, Robin, there's a lot of level 3 energy going on there, a lot of tolerating, and life is so good. But I also heard you say how important it is for you to grow your business and get your message out and help more people.
Okay.
And I mean, I was embarrassed a little bit, but I was with peers that they were all relating, just like you might be relating. Yeah. But she said, are you, she reiterated what I had told her, I really want to be the CEO of my business. And I had heard that from another mentor, are you the CEO or not? And this example just made me just say, she said, Robin, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Ooh,
So there was no more fluff. It's just like, are you going to do it or aren't you?
Yeah, that hell no moment.
And that hell no moment for me changed everything.
But there's a couple more things after that, so that we have a couple bullet points here. So like sometimes we can hell no and we get it right away, right?
Right.
But there's a couple other things to think about.
So here's the thing, is to sit with, and we're going to go backwards just a tiny bit. When you went up and accepted where you are, okay, so you've got this on, when the words came out and you were like, oh no, this is true, I've waited 15 years. What I encourage you to do is sit with that discomfort of that.
Okay.
Because that's what makes it really real. It kind of ties in with your why should make you cry. If we do not embody whatever it is that we're trying to go after or whatever it is we're trying to change, if we don't feel it in our body, I wasn't feeling it in my body because my life was pretty good and I was trying to make a goal from this place. And when you sit with it and say, I'm really uncomfortable knowing this and I don't like this and what do I need to do to change it? So yes, we're going for the more lighthearted and all the feel-goods, but it's really important to sit with the discomfort long enough before you claim it. Like, yes, I'm saying just jump into hell no, but I thank you for bringing that up because that is a really strong, important piece, is don't just skip over it. You really want to feel it and remember how much you don't want to feel that again.
Gotcha. Okay. So then you can, the third point was embody.
Yeah, so embody it.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you embody it and you're going for a goal, that's what your body remembers.
Yeah, which is interesting. Now that I'm thinking about the word embody, your body will work with you to do it.
It's
got you. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. It has to be, so many times we can learn strategies and we can set goals, but if we don't embody it and commit, and the commitment, declare it, name and claim it.
Yeah.
That's where having a witness is nice too. It's real easy to let ourselves down when we say that. So that's why I tell my stories a lot too. It's just like, now I'm getting to be more of an organized CEO, because I told everybody when I was busted. So gamify anything you can. Just make it more fun.
That's true.
Make it more fun.
Brene Brown has a quote, avoidance will make you feel less vulnerable in the short run, but will never make you feel less afraid. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Okay.
And what, in a nutshell for me, what that is feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any easier.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that says to me.
Right.
So again, what if we accept quicker and understand quicker and make our mind up quicker?
There we go.
And then another 15 years can't go by.
Yes.
You know, and we are not knocking that, by the way. I've had goals with the same thing over and over. My wine was like that before I quit drinking wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
you know, kind of taking account of that, seeing what you want to do this year. Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
6 months left in 2024.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Okay, well, thanks for being here and listening here with us on the Shift Happens podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, rate, review. Apple Podcasts is a great place to do that.
So helpful.
We're on
Yeah.
the YouTubes.
Yes. If you'd rather watch than listen, if you're one of those people, we have a good time here.
We even have on our board 5 stars.
Yes.
Yes, we drew 5 stars.
Yes, 5 stars,
Yeah.
please. Oh, and let me show you really quick.
Okay, yes.
I want to show you what Monique made, and I walked into this today to the new studio.
It's a letterboard with
Isn't
the
it
podcast
so
name on
cool?
it. Yeah.
And if it's ever dark in here, we'll light it up for you.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
So I just want you to remember, shift happens.
Shift happens.
And Robin's here to help.
And I am here to help you.
Yes, and we have a ton of resources in the show notes and on the website. Please remind us the website.
Website, it's ROBINMCINTIRE, all eyes, .com, robinmcintire.com.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So season 2, episode 1 is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Bye. Sweet.
Thanks for being here. Ciao.